けど僕らが今 Halo Mas, selamat datang di channelku dan selamat datang semuanya yang baru mampir, yang baru join ya. Selamat datang. Dan hari ini ya, hari Jumat kita akan bermain finish strike ya kan, kita mau nyantai aja. Tapi sebelum itu bentar, gue hapus dulu nih pasmofobianya karena nggak bisa, ntar gue beli aja deh. Kita beli pasmofobia pas diskonnya gitu kan. Nah bentar lagi harusnya summer sale ya, sebulan kata Karaks kata tadi gitu kan. Jadi bentar lagi lah. Ntar gampang lah, oke. Jadi hari ini kita akan main finish strike The Great as Attorney ya. Kita akan jadi detektif ya. Kita akan menegakkan kebenaran kita karena kita memang tidak bersalah ya dalam kasus pembunuhan ini. Langsung aja, langsung. Ada santai nyantai. Ada. Oh langsung, oke. Continue. Oke. Ini kita masih di itu ya, masih di mana nih? Masih di sini gitu kan. Aku terkas sampai mana ya? Gue lupa. Bentar. Ini terakhir sampai mana ya? Gue cari di Google dulu deh. Gue Google malah mencet dong, really dude. The Great as Attorney apa namanya? Walkthrough. Kemarin aku nyari di mana ya? Soalnya aku butuh walkthrough kayak gini nih. Soalnya kalau salah ya udah bubar. Oh ini nih, yang ini. Episode 1, kita masih episode 1 gitu ya. Oke, ini kita di sini kita part 1 ya. Present photograph victim on testimony 4. Oke, yang keempat. 2 kita udah ada apa sih? Kita udah ada University Color Pin, postmortem photograph. Kita udah ini nih. Present medical report on testimony 4. Oke, yang keempat. Berarti ini kita testimony 4, habis itu kita ini ya. Medical, oke. Ini kan medical card on testimony 4. Oke, yang keempat. Oke. Yang tiga, yang keempat. Indeed alone, he was the Englishman dining out by himself. Oke. Present medical report. Present medical report. Ini kita present. Kita present dulu. Well, I think I'm about what are you waiting? Glad call yourself a lawyer. I was accused, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Yes, I will stumble on the worst occasionally. Under the circumstances, I won't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly if in that cross-examination you could just carry out. When you raise your hand straight up like that so purposely, you know exactly what you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what are you thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Very good, son. This is a medical report card belonging to the victim. I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dimmy, have you forgotten my word so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drive. But let's see if I can explain in words you make understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may not have been done before that time, it's completely irrelevant. But that's... Remember, Yunusuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Certainly, I believe we finish here. There is surely no need to prolong the trial further. The video that the court has heard has been clear of conscience. The medical report has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides the pale. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? The observer with the baby boy? Of course I believe. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hotel Clinic which issued the report card is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Well, is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What is now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Karet? He had ordered not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wear off. What? No, that can. Koreko-san? What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we know now, had just one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effect of the anesthetic. Halo kakak, halo arak. Expertly done, partner. Anjas. Select the fourth option. Okay. What is this nonsense, you little upstart, katanya. These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photograph evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim table. Well, the objection. Use your head. That's the very dispenser we're talking about. Or can you follow the logic? How? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wah, ini dia. Wouldn't you agree, Yunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat, which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pigster beef steak? The court will hear the option of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, Kozel. Kozel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to the question is going to be fatal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. So then what you made of, Anjas? Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim table must have been. Terus kita ke select the fourth option, yaitu as an third party. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professional table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. Body. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we note that the victim could have been eating anything. Yet, we have the evidence. Eating steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimony are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a variety of relentless. Kazuma, are you insane? You will take on the government? Don't worry, Kozo. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with the evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberate lied when giving your testimonies, obviously, you will be charged with perjury. Ini kita present Satoru Hasonaga. Perjury. And since this is murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit? In murder? No! No, tidak! Gitu. Oh. Negative. There was no reason. Hasonaga siapa? Hosonaga siapa? There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting, katanya. I was just following orders, katanya. That's right. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. They. Oh. What? What? What did you just say? Oh, no. You were just following orders. No, hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What? What is the meaning of all this? Katanya. Halo, mending main Free Fire. Aduh, Free Fire. This witness gave false statements? Is this true, your pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue, katanya. Wow. Masuk di penghakiman kok masa ngasih statement yang salah gitu, yang apa ya, yang nggak bener itu kan saya salah tuh. Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You try to prevent this witness from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So, you prepare to be tried as a competitor to this murder, are you? You won't. This can be happening. You know, okay? Judging from the way they reacting to this, I say we're sworn to silence by someone who could influence them. However, I don't believe Auchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possible. It could only have been government, the media, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence this witness, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whatever it was said to make the witness get their small sound. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusation. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his power or her power here. But how? How can it be possible? Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we miss. There's no time to lose. I want answer. If it is proven that the witness have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be served. Please wait. You're essentially. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every single god, I know nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all of this? Well, essentially, no time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name in my head. Kita pilih Sondaro siapa tadi? Nah, di sini kita milih Satoru Hasonaga. Oke. Ini Eugene Satoru Hasonaga mana? Oh, ini. An army sergeant member who witnessed the incident. Kita present Satoru Hasonaga.
Yes.
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hasonaga-san. Hasonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand, really? Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make this witness give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter, what? If he truly were, come on, Renosuke, time to hit this code with the truth. Terus kita examine the waiter business class, flip it over, investigate on the back, present. Oke. Oke. Nah, kita tinggalin. Kita examine, kita apa nih? Examine, flip it over, investigate the text on the back. Okay. Well, that's an unexpected. What is it? Look, do you see it say witness name here? Satoru Hasonaga. Well, yes, business card do tend to show person name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that I'm expected. It's his job title. His job? Oh, Chief Inspector Satoru Criminal Investigation Division Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? Why on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somewhere, the way to business card influence. Kita sudah examine gitu kan. Present better business card, oke. Kita back, terus kita ini present.
Yes.
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree, it's so a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, yours essentially. That's the back of the car. It's the back of the back. The car of the car. that of interest. I beg your pardon? Oh, or I should have the front. Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals the man of in question profession, his true profession, the waiter's profession, but that's surely good gracious. That's right, yeah, essentially. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witness that instead was in fact that waiter who gave you the orders. Was it he who told you not to mention that you've been this for the gentlewoman at the scene? Hope. Wah, keluar. Inspector Hasana kan? I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will be taken and the court record as evidence. Oh, well, is that a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. You did act strangely when the judge udah nonton. Udah. Itu juga bahas kan. Sudah juga bahas state of play kan. Ya yang paling ditunggu ya emang 2 game itu doang ya untuk state of play gitu loh. Game PS kan yang ditunggu Bang Tara Bang Gema ya Final Fantasy, RE gitu kan. Katanya pengen main lagi nanti RE katanya Bang Gema. Kita nantikan saja. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusual careless mistake. So, you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes. There have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That will be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on the point for the court? Of course, your accessory. We have just heard new information from the 2 witnesses beside you. That at the point of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person present, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other either. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require this witness to be an agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspect. Ternyata dibayar tuh. As soon as I heard gunshot, I ran out the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood that accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an English woman. So, the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say? Remove the Englishman from the scene at once. Dikasih perintah dia. It was made clear that the Englishman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. Oh, udah disuruh. But what if the Englishman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire refused the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect, well, without irrevocable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the phantom woman in this case. But it's not right. Kenapa nih? One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them studying in the medical facility research laboratory. It's a young English woman. What? You are a servant man. I can see why you are the chosen candidate for the overstudied role. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor table was a certain Miss Desiree Grab. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University Medical Facility. What is happening here? Ternyata pembunuhnya tuh dari Yume University juga gitu loh. I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady presence at the scene, and ordered this witness to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Nggak bersalah dong. Very well. Methods on the methods are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particular criminal premise, namely that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a discretion of our justice system to ignore the truth and giving a ruling at this point. But there certainly that would mean missing the non-deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such action. Calm yourself, Ansel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspektur Hasan kah? Yes, sir. You will look at this gingerbread and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. Well, as I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out our investigation flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Jezebel to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Istirahat 30 menit. Gak, ceritanya sih gila, to be continue. Jadi itulah ya dari akhirnya anjir Gmail loh. Wah, jadi kita emang udah apakah ceweknya ini masih masih double gitu, ini berkata double menyatakan gak bersalah gitu kan. Kita istirahat dulu. Excellent work, Yunosuke. That was a super. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I know it, you start finding inconsistent in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, I'm terrifying. If I get through this, I don't even want to see the inside of courtroom again. Anyway, it was like this expose your phantom lady at least. Bentar. Aku tiba-tiba keras ngirimin apa? Emailnya ngapa tuh? Oh, emailnya gitu. Udah. Karak sebenarnya yang salah nggak di situ sih. Yang salah sebenarnya di laptop kok tiba-tiba gitu. Dr. Wilson, there was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman, thanks to our detective friends, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't. Any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson Talbot, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down a bit and picked it up, bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sounds of the gunshot had come from. Bentar. Nah, the waiter ran over to me, looking as white as sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective. He apprehended his suspect without a moment delay. Yes, and because I was shot in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Bentar. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Oh, ini. Bentar. Pindah akun dulu bentar. Oke, lanjut. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You exceed my expectation, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You orange things so that I will be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn Taken. Bentar. Sama aja karak. So that's your stance. I was afraid you feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in the restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John Wilson was a visiting professor at UMaine, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, we are about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from the Great Britain and a well-known one at all. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman who's involved our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that your pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruto? Well, court process is over. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once. Well, lagi. It's time. Let's get back into it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. before those who posters know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? But well, if you hadn't said you believe me, then I'm fairly silly I already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend, coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whatever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then, I saved the thank you for after the trial. You can treat me to one of the sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street, with an extra large portion of course. Oh, di treatnya begitu ya. Wah, udah mulai masuk lagi nih. Kayak gimana sih? The court will resume the trial of Inosuke Naruto. Terus kata Ruiji, have you managed to separate the witness? Yes, certainly. Again, salute. And thanks to a certain strip, the president is now under the painful security from the government. Sorry. Let the government securities. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about it. It's highly unlikely that the good relationship we got with the Great Britain will encourage unsquared. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terrible sorry. If the friendship between our nation is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Yunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial? Anxiety over some foreign government opinion, abandoned investigation, missing witness? Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is it the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jump-rope body. You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation is fine solving. By aligning ourselves with the great world power will become strong, diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who worked a good student harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strong. A court that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is just country with no future at all. Well said, Yunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brat! Thank you, Kozo. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the process of the truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from the Great Britain, Miss Jewel Brett. Ya gimana sih? Yes. Ya seriously. Nih pembunuhnya nih ternyata. Damn. Well, what a delight is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to go Japan, and from such a distant land. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discuss take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and accommodation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Sasunaga. I have been working on the government with the Elakarneva. Yes, we know all about you already. Sir, where are your memory and earners? In England, it always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a letter earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you show off. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet, you described as an amazing sight, you're simply a woman. Sorry, Yonosuke, but powers of observance aside, your powers described are sorely lacking. Cruelty. So, dear lady, once again, if you may trouble for your name and occupation, please. Enggak gituin loh. Apaan tuh? Apaan tuh? I'm terrible sorry, dear lady, but oh, bahasa Inggris. The lady says her name is Giselbread. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in University Medical Facility. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the ducat tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you say, but it was a beautiful of mega songs. Hello abang, hello Violet, hello. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Haha, you obviously do fine in England, Gazuma. Her English doesn't rival you at all, does it? Not you. You PP channel ganti apakah akan ada avatar baru? Ada nggak ya? Nantikan aja deh. Nantikan aja. Oke? Nantikan aja. You clearly been paying attention in your English class. Video ini itu masih itu sih. Semangat teman. Terima kasih Violet. Terima kasih Vio. Ya nantiin aja sih. Hanya ada beberapa orang yang tahu kok. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stance. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brad. Diam nggak tahu dia. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Garneva, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Ini ditranslate. She says, yes. This could take some time. So, if she's studying here in Japan, she can speak any Japanese? Bahasanya gitu, Cuk. She like to apologize for the disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you are the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the bureau. Well, now, dear lady, would you be so kind to cast your eyes over the photograph of the print? Nah, kita lihat ini dulu. Ini press testimony 2. Saying as you were so affectionately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that you were pleasant eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator perhaps? Apa itu gila? Ini angsa gila, ini angsa gila. Apparently, it was very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes. It will be appear the lady did witness the crime. Hah? Huh? Order in the court. Did you hear that suddenly? Here, we have an absolute conflict witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you formality testing if you win, please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful act you describe. Gila, berarti emang dia udah mengakui kalau dia salah ya? Harusnya ya. A frightening sorrow and sorrow. Di sini kita press testimoni kedua. Select the first option. Okay. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late lunch with the Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Tunggu. Tadi kan di awal kan dia udah bilang kalau dia pembunuhnya. Terus kenapa dia ngomong kalau misalkan terus ada orang tiba-tiba datang jeber nembak gitu? Really? Kan udah bilang tadi pertama kali. Yes. No, I didn't have any kind with the professor at all. Apa tadi? Quit. You're still make the same mistake, okay? You must blurt out when you go there like that. That's the lesson you learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I had to stand from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and report back to the burial. Eva decided to Brisbane was not involved, so I let her go. What? Wah, setan nih. Those are the witnesses on re-examine. Kita sekarang ini yang kedua, press testimoni kedua, oke. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late lunch with the that day. Ini yang kedua. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. Langsung fresh. He was unable to eat, you see. And that was because he just had a tooth removed at a hotel clinic, correct? That's right. You are supposed to actually check with the witness before. Was Miss aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who had the stick pistol here. Is that right, Mr. Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have 3 shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrid event. Exactly as it was left. Jimmy, what a horrifying experience. To have traveled to a distant forest. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will cross the evil wind that was. Ya dia pembunuhnya. Masih dilindungin, naik. Wah. Ya emang itu sih, emang hukum kayak gitu. Just what? They each raise a glass of carbonate water. What do you think, Jessica? Ini select the first option. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing of this quiz. Well, how was beginning? Don't do tell us what is profound bearing? The significance of this statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well said, step, counsel. Need present crime scene photograph on the added testimony. Okay. Huh? Crime scene photograph, okay. I hope there are some more useful tips you are picking up from this experience that there in video. Present crime scene on the added testimony. So, she's mentioning that you got into argument with the professor at the end of the video showed, which is an out and out totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she an elegant, refined, young, beautiful, gentleman woman from the Great Britannia. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head and to dull black, and dressed exactly the same as you were, except for red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to explore her testimony in the at all. If we can do that, the trial is over. Okay, examine and present. Examine. Halo Topan. Nah, ini kita examine and present the marking on the victim. Yeah, present crime scene photograph on the added testimony. apa foto crime scene photograph. Oh ini on the added testimony. Oke. Kak ada tuh nonton. Nggak ada dong.
Yes.
That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with the protocol print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim table at the crime scene. That's it, exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is it's odd, very odd. Give me what's odd in the defense in a express itself. Okay, what is about the point is look out to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Bridges told us that she and the police said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Cosell. There's only 1 glass pistol here. Kenapa nih? Are we supposed to be impressed by nitpicking over a minute? What possible difference does a glass make 1 to guess? Gak bisa gitu dong. Minute, you say? Could it be that the detective he removed a glass from the table concerned the lady present? Of course not. He would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can cling with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Terus habis ini select the second option, oke? Yeah, select the second option, oke? Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Mr. Will who took the glass from the table. What? It was also terrible everything what that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I've been terrorist at all. Good gracious. Sorry. Ngomong aside deh. That as I assured the court before, there's no consequence at all. Oh please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady luncheon companion before her eyes closed. We could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state in detail. That's absurd. Oh really? So, do we take it you are not going to excuse your young or beautiful woman of mischief? What? No, this can be mischief. I like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, you're essentially. A small handbag once commonly carried by a well-to-do woman in England. So, the beautiful lady was very gracious when how and why she removed the glasses from before. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the ones. This student has been trying to confuse the court with the logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes nothing. Ngeselin banget nih Auci nih. No more presidential discussion. You have wasted enough time already. Ini select second option ya. Ini select the second option. Wait, the lady put the glass in her bag, you say? Yes, dude tried to keep up. It's already been the call in. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Best said the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it will be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had feeling you pick up that too, huh? What are you insulting? You fell backward? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant. As he didn't fire at the gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can seriously be suggesting Inspector Hosonaga? Yes. Did you not search Miss Brad's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. Waduh. As I thought. In the other way, another gun. The one that was actually used to kill the professor could have been hidden in Mrs. handbag. No! Order! Now she has to endure this unfold accusation. Ya kalau dia bersalah emang harusnya kayak gitu dong. Wah ini wah. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. Examine the marking of the victim arm in the photo. Apa nih? Examine and present the marking on the victim. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, clearly saw Miss Bell's handbag. Well, I never. You can see, right? Through the white inside. That's right. Apparently, most workplaces like this are the height of the fashion of London at the moment. So the contests are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If they had a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing mysterious here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruto-san. Wow. Order! Inspector Sonoga, you will submit the print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. The marketing. Examine and present the marketing on the victim arm in the photo. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. Kazuma? Kazuma? I'm sorry. Yunosuke. No. Kata-kata business is over. There's no way to force the thread to continue. What? You mean this is it? I must say you put a quite fight for a rookie student, but the weak are meat while the strong eat. You were wasting your time. There is no way to defeat the true justice, katanya. As a fact, you can chew on your what? Is there really no chance? No of turning this around? You hear the judge. There's nothing about the last photograph detective, the protocol kindness, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well, I will not proceed immediately to thrilling. It seems we will be able to report to the British government time. That's more clear. Did you scan Naruto? Having considered of all the evidence placed before me, I have it. Huh? Wait, you essentially, Yunosuke? I do think you can roll off this case yet. Nah, the objection nih, dibantah. Balik lagi. As the photograph print just submit appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in the matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, then ruling on the case at this time will be out of the question. The objection lagi. Wah. Ini nih darah nih. Darah kenapa ada tangan di sini ada ini nih. Yes, certainly. So, take another look at the photograph print as better as I submitted before. Apa nih? Examine and look at this. Here, there was very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of something description. Apalagi Jimmy, I was wondering what new flavor you would come to a burn you say on the victim's wrist. Yes, that's a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. Crime scene photograph. marksnya tuh kayak gimana ya, apa nih? Ini masih banyak lagi gila. Ya kita istirahat dulu lah ya. Kita lanjut besok lagi. Ini masih panjang lagi soalnya. Masih panjang soalnya. Kita udahan dulu lah streamingnya. Oke. Tapi ya gila, itu udah kelihatan bersalah loh. Really dude, masih kelihatan kayak gitu masih belum bersalah. Really dude, emang apa, dunia emang kayak gitu. Tapi ya, terima kasih teman-teman udah mampir ya. Kita udah dulu streamingnya ya, udah jam 9:30 juga. Besok malam mungkin kita akan jalan-jalan aja, kita nyantai-nyantai aja. Terima kasih teman-teman udah mampir. Gue Azure, sampai jumpa di live streaming berikutnya. Dadah semua, dadah. Terima kasih udah mampir, dadah.
I was living my SARA, but now I can live my life. I thought you were an angel, and you go in front of my eyes. I'm obsessed with escaping.